Yeah. So it was like
Oh,
going from that major failure, resetting, then coming back to this, and then it's just a huge bump in the head one more time because it happened with like me signing with them or anything. Astralis is in a place right now, as you know, with all the rumors and stuff, where like,
yeah.
as I said, I think I needed a break to reflect on
Mhm.
everything that I was scared of taking because, you know, I always had this in the back of my mind that you cannot take a break. Like if you take a break, you're out. Yep.
On top of obviously Nexa coming in,
Mhm.
Taz doesn't join directly at this point, but he joins not long after for the World Final, which is his first coaching bit. The knowledge that we were told is that Taz was not like the coach you wanted to choose first of all. Was not like your first pick. Was there
Yeah.
someone else you had in mind? Can you say who that is?
Yeah, it was Bobo from Flames because
Ah,
I,
okay. Bring
but
it back together.
yeah, but it's not because that I thought, you know, he's going to come in and like, you know, have the key to everything. But
Mm,
first of all, I knew like this guy I know how to work with, and he like
yeah.
we will work from day one. And secondly, I think that he's one of the best guys I've worked with when it comes to, you know, making sure there's productiveness and making sure that everyone is on the same page. And
Yep.
I think that was just the things we needed the most. As I said, like there was always like it was never a problem with like tactical stuff or a problem with you know, individual prowess or anything. It was just about mental all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And I think that he could have kept like a steady level mentally for the team and put us in the right spot and
Yeah.
given me as well some stability in a way that I needed. And um, yeah, that's why I suggested him and I wanted him. But obviously nothing against Taz. I didn't know the guy at all. I had the one
Yeah.
interview with him that went on for like 30 minutes or something. What can you
Okay.
do on a 30-minute interview? Like if you don't
Nothing.
know the guy at all, like everyone puts on their
Yeah.
best face and you say
Yeah,
the
yeah.
right things and that's it. Like everyone knows how it works. So
Did he wear a suit for the interview?
no, he probably had his white T-shirt on or some bullshit like always. I
Oh.
I think you can only make Taz put a suit on if it's his own winning or if it's
Or the awards.
if he needs to go be a bodyguard for Wonders at the awards.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, so was that a bit of upset from you when you didn't get the coach you wanted? Was there an internal struggle at that point?
A little bit. I like. I thought it was weird to tell me that I had a lot to say, but that it felt like I didn't have anything to say. But
Yeah.
in the end, it's, you know, like they get all the flag for if it's the wrong decision, and
Yeah.
they also it's their job as staff to make the decision. So obviously, I don't have the last say,
Oof.
and I get it, like why they went with him because um, I think they are also thinking about like what's just best for the organization and for the future of the team, and uh, he seemed like the best candidate. So maybe he
But I
was.
disagree with some parts of that where you said like they obviously make the decision of what they think is best for the organization because none of them, no matter how involved they are with the team, has the same insight as you and the players of what's needed.
No, no, of course not. But I think it's also dangerous to just always give the players what they want because sometimes they don't know what's
Yeah,
best for
that's fair.
themselves. And I think that's a fine, tough balance
It's a
to
hard one.
yeah, it's
But
tough
do you
to find.
think? Do you think then, like with what was said afterwards, right? Albon, the CEO, went on the HLTV confirmed, and he said like Taz was needed because he was more of like a mental, spiritual leader in that sense, right? Less of the
Mm.
tactical side because of the players you had who had all this experience. Would you agree with that?
But I think he did a great job of trying to like keep the spirit up and the mood up
Yeah.
and all this. And it's not like, but I think the first few weeks we had Tess is the best work he did throughout the
Nice.
entire time with him. And I actually asked him a bunch of times, like throughout our time working together, why don't you go back to the way you did things in the first place? Because the first few weeks, obviously, he was trying to make sure the mood was really good and all this stuff, but that's
Yeah.
just how
Yeah.
he is as a person. He's just
Yeah, that's
always,
him naturally.
yeah, yeah, that's just him. He's a great guy, but in terms of like tactics and practice, he was like really harsh, like going after everyone as soon as they didn't follow what we talked about in theory. So like, for example, I remember we talked about, okay, if we go in a man disadvantage, let's not go for plays because it it's rarely successful for us. Let's just do something together when we are 4v5, and let's see if we have more success with it. And we had a lot of success with it, and it was really good. But then it was like, for me mentally, it was like, it felt like we kind of check marked it, and we were like, okay, now we're good at this, and then we moved on to something else, and then we forgot
Yeah.
about it again. Where I feel like something like this, you have to stay on it for
Again and
months.
again and again.
You have to
Yeah.
go full gambit youngsters there
Yeah,
and keep
exactly.
doing it.
Yeah, and like,
Don't forget about it.
and I think we forgot about stuff like this, and we forgot
Mhm.
about working enough on the fundamentals, and maybe went too much into like details that didn't really matter too much.
Yeah.
But again, how can I say what is right and wrong? Like, I'm one guy in a full team, and I might as well be wrong as anyone else. So yeah,
But you did, even during this time and start of the year, it felt like your performances were really consistent. You were consistently like 56th, 34th,
yeah,
Yeah.
consistently making the playoffs and making deep runs. Like it was just something small missing to kind of make you switch up. So
Yeah.
the performances seemed consistent at least.
Yeah, I think the biggest flaw in that team was just that the whole dynamic, as I talked about before, that we got Nexa in to do a job that didn't
Yep.
fit him. That
Yeah.
like, we basically, that would have been better for Justin to do, because like, the qualities that Nexa has, he couldn't really use, and he was working really hard to make it work. Like, this guy played fucking DM, like, to a point where I was like, is your hand going to fall off, or will it stay on the mouse? Like, what's going on?
It's too much.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. He did everything he could, but it would be the same as like hiring me to a star role in a way. Like, of course that would not fit, and of course I would not do good, because that's not like my qualities. So
Yeah.
I think that was what was missing, and I think if uh, you know, if the dynamics were a bit better, maybe we could have made it to finals or even won trophies. Because as you said, we always got, you know, two playoffs, always got like third to fourth, until, yeah, I think all the way until even after the major. I think we did it actually for a bit.
Yeah,
So
you did the whole year.
yeah, so that's unfortunate. But, and I would also
Yeah.
have liked to see what like I could have done after the break, honestly, with
With Malbs.
with Melbs, because
Yeah.
that guy is, like, even
Insane.
now he is really sharp, but back
Mhm.
then it was insane.
Yeah. Follow up for him to NiKo was crazy, right? Just like
Hmm.
both of them being able to split roles and what they wanted to do was crazy.
Yeah.
So looking at that, I want to touch a little bit on Copenhagen major, because obviously it's the first major in CS2. I know Katowice was just 56, but we talked about your consistency already.
Mhm.
But the Copenhagen major, it looked like there is a potential for you guys to be the winners of that one. And you
Yes.
come up against that crazy Navi, right? If like Spirit get eliminated by FaZe in the beginning, in the quarters, you have that really weird situation, by the way, on stage where those assholes like made problems.
Uh,
Everything's delayed for crazy ages, and then you beat Mouse.
mm.
That was that the wildest stage experience you've ever had? Like, that was for me so weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was all the
We
flat coming down from you guys.
I think everything was handled so badly, in that, because we got told that some shit might happen, and we're just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is some shit supposed to mean? And then,
Thanks for that. All these extra bodyguards just lining up everywhere.
yeah, but when something, like, if you get that kind of message, and then something happens, you're a bit mentally prepared for, like, okay, this is just some people who wants to like send a message in a way.
Yeah.
So I was not scared at all when it happened, but the mouse players didn't get a message about, they didn't get a warning about anything. So suddenly people are
What?
just charging the stage, and they don't know anything.
So this is what's crazy, right? Because obviously it was a sponsor that G2 sadly took, which was obviously a bad decision. They ended that as soon as they could. It wasn't the smartest one. m0NESY had just turned 18, if I'm right.
Yes.
I think that was it. Yeah, so they just rolled it out, and then a competitive sponsor to them, who's also just full of arseholes, decided to make a moment, destroy the stage. So G2 were informed. G2 were on high alert and ready. I was even just ready by the side, like told to be in a position where, like, if something happens, we talk on. So afterwards, I went on stage and spoke about it. But I didn't know until later on that Mouse didn't hear anything. So the
That's
game
so
stopped,
crazy.
everything's paused. And it would have made sense to just tell both teams, right?
Yes.
Obviously, we don't understand the logistics behind it.
I think it's crazy that they don't tell both teams, and I think it's crazy that we as players know something is about to go down, but the security is not like airtight. How is that possible? But I don't know. Even I just remember I got like into like some kind of a Big Brother stage because like I felt so bad for m0NESY because he was like uncomfortable as hell after this happened, and I thought to myself like, bro,
He's so
don't
young as
worry.
well.
You sit next to NiKo, he will fucking punch the shit out of him if they come. Don't worry. So
Oh, dude.
yeah, but
Yeah, that was a wild situation. But does that
very
NaVi
unique.
game haunt you at all a little bit?
What do you think?
Because it was felt like redemption for the last major was coming your way. Like even me, as the ultimate NaVi fanboy, was saying, "Okay, whoever wins this game wins the major, surely."
If you ever get
and you were favored.
if you ever get Apex on this podcast, you can ask him how good did it feel to win in front of your home crowd, and then you can translate that to how bad it felt to lose 13-11 last map. I don't know. It was so shit.
I mean, I've been booed by a home crowd, so
Well, I've never tried
in
that though.
Fnatic.
But
yeah, remember, Fnatic versus Nip was a horrible situation because everyone loved Nip and they hated Fnatic. So Devil was the anti-Swede.
So we had no home crowd.
You're
It was alien.
You're basically heroic, and NIP was old Astralis.
Yeah,
Yep.
essentially.
Yep. Yeah, but yeah, of course, like that. It was also just like we lost to NaVi so many times, and I felt like every time we had them right there, but we just couldn't close it out for some reason, and there was always someone who just popped off against us, and I just felt this is the like if there's ever a time to beat them, it's now, and we will beat them now, and I just felt so confident, but then yeah, I don't know what happened. We just JL made this crazy deglaze and a bunch of bullshit happened, and yeah, damn it.
And then third to fourth, damn it, making them relive all these painful moments.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how much shit I've been through.
Bro, you've survived all this shit is the main thing, right? You survived all this. You are strong as hell, and many other people would crack, fold, and retire, and you haven't done any of that, and you're still going. So, and actually, you've come out healthier. You come out healthier and physically stronger. That is impressive.
That was a good break. That was a much needed break.
So, I know this one's going to be probably the worst one. Dallas 2024. Because you go for your sister's wedding. Completely normal. It's to me, Dallas is not a big event. It's very small prize money as well. They've obviously agreed for you to go, right? And Stewie comes to stand in. There's no way in hell they're winning that event. Stewie can just about still play the game. He brings a good vibe, and he's American. Everything's fine. I know NiKo wanted to play with him. m0NESY was enjoying just hearing Stewie's voice, I guess, because it's entertainment. But then
I feel like this event is a little bit of like a false premise as well, in some sense, because from what I heard as well is obviously that you, HooXi, even though you went to that wedding, you did a lot of work from not like at the event, but did a lot of prep work and helped them out with whatever you could.
Yeah, I was
so that you were part of it.
I was basically
in some sense.
I was basically head coach at home.
Yeah.
For the practice, and then for the first few officials, like I think until the semi-final, I was doing as much of the prep for T side as I could, as I normally would. And I just asked NiKo like, will it help you, or do you just want to do it on your own? And he said it helps, and then why not?
Yeah. And that's crazy impressive that you were helping them, you were making sure they could do in the best position possible, you were being the best in-game leader without even being at the event. But do you think that was the end of it all when they won an event without you? Do you think that's what sealed your fate?
No, I hope
No.
not. If they're that stupid, then I think it's crazy. But I like
Good.
usually like I laugh at teams when they say like, okay, if we don't do good this event, then we need to make a change. Okay, but
Yeah.
how does it come down to one event? Like you have to look at the 6 months you had. Like, is it something you can work on, or is it something that is unfixable? And like, are you happy with where you are, or will a change help you? And that's basically it. It cannot be okay, we went to Dallas and won randomly. Let's fucking change a guy. Like to me,
Mm-hmm.
that there's no way that's how anyone thinks that is actually a professional. So no, I don't think that at all. I think that uh, it was first of all, they already thought about changing me for someone else a lot of times. I think that I was not working out as well with Tess as they hoped.
Okay.
And I think that as I said, like even though the summer break was really nice for me and like it helped me a lot, it was still not enough, and I didn't get to reflect and develop as a person in that small amount of time. So yeah, I think in the end it was like a fair change, like if they wanted something else, but I also think it would have been completely fair to keep me. It was like
Mm-hmm.
not both things could be right or could be wrong. And yeah, I definitely don't hope that they made the decision from me skipping that event and then going to London and playing without Monacy. That would be crazy.
Yeah. That was also the London one. No one's ever going to hold that against you on it.
That was a wasted event.
So then to end out the thing on G2, do you think it was just the thing of you not working out with Taz and that was it, the decision? Or like, do you have another understanding of why they didn't want to continue?
I think me not working with Tess that well was a huge thing. I think that my mental state and like even just like I have some kind of persona in English that is not the same as like when I'm speaking in Danish. Like I'm not as happy of a
Mm-hmm.
guy, and I just don't. As I said, like I think it's hard to be fun and sarcastic in English,
Okay.
and I think that some of the things I said, like for example, it's not weird in Danish to say like, okay, we're really shit at this, because you can say it in a way where like everyone will say like, yeah, haha, whatever. But in English it
Yeah.
sounds harsh, where I would say stuff like that a lot, and I think sometimes I got misunderstood.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't know, I think, as I said, I think I needed a break to reflect on
Mm-hmm.
everything that I was scared of taking, because I always had this in the back of my mind that you cannot take a break. Like if you take a break, you're out, basically.
Yeah. You've
Which
forgotten about kind of thing.
which also ended up being true.
Not
so
fully, luckily. Not fully.
so yeah. But as I said, I totally understand where G2 was coming from with the change, and maybe I would have made the same decision if I was in their shoes. And
Okay.
yeah, I think
But
overall it's not as tragic as people make it sound like.
well, it's good you don't see it like that. And I guess I also want to ask, Munacy said out of all the in-game leaders he's played with on his time with G2, right? That like you were the best one he had. You were the one that worked the hardest. Like, how does that make you feel?
Weird. Because I think uh, like I get where he's coming from. I think that also like I was the hardest working. I don't know if I was the best. Maybe with him I was the best, but um, I also think he's lying, because I think NiKo was a better IGL than me. Honestly, I think the day NiKo retires, or not retires, but retires from being a star player and becomes an IGL, he's instantly the best IGL in the world, which is crazy.
Really?
Really?
Yes,
Why'd
100%.
you say that?
He understands the game on a different level. It's completely crazy the way
Okay.
he understands mid round, and he's just so quick with it that.
But do you think it translates really well for him to go in IGL?
Yeah, I have no doubt that he will be IGL at some point. So yeah, I think that he's also lying. I think the best IGL he played with in G2 was NiKo and Dallas, but whatever.
Hey, it was your game plan.
Yeah, well, still. And yeah, I have the feeling that like honestly, for him, the environment is very important, which is like surprising to me because he's Russian and they're usually very harsh to each other when
Very toxic.
Yeah.
when if you hear VP comes,
Oh my god.
that's it's
VP, old NaVi,
Yeah.
Cloud9. It's
So
crazy.
so I maybe also like misread the whole Balkan Russian thing that I thought like I could be more harsh than I could. But I'm obviously happy that he thinks that and that he says that because that's, as I said, like that's how your value as an IGL goes up. That's how
Yeah.
people what they say about you after working with you. So
So that's why you got the Astralis gig. Modesty's words.
maybe who knows? He should have said it a bit before then.
Damn it, Ilya! Why could you not speak up sooner? Why could you have not given me this public praise in advance? Oh man! All right. So, lastly, then, is there any closing thoughts you want to have on this G2 moment before we touch on this brief Astralis moment?
Nah, that's not. I think we've been through most of it. The only thing I just like don't really regret it, but I'm just sad that it didn't happen. Was like getting that freaking major for NiKo would have been the icing on the cake. And but I'm just happy that I broke some of the curses with him, and
Exactly.
I don't know, super happy with what we achieved in the end. So overall, I think you can give a thumbs up for the time in general, but we could have done more, which is like
I
the
mean,
only
considering
regret.
how turbulent it seemed to have been
Yeah.
throughout this entire journey,
Yep.
it's pretty impressive that you came out with these results.
Thank you.
You've been through a lot. You've learned a lot. You've grown in more ways than one, and you survived it all. I think that's the crazy thing. With
And
it all.
then you went on to the biggest Giga Shad part of it all.
So from here, HooXi, you have a pretty long break. And just for you, I know the break we already spoke was important. It was something that was needed. But what did you go through on this journey other than gym that we spoke about earlier? Like, how was this time spent? Did you actually take a proper holiday? What was the HooXi way of rejuvenating himself?
Well, I think the most proper holiday I took was going to Cyprus with a bunch of other gamer dudes and drinking my brain out for a week straight.
Hey, you need that. You need that.
And yeah, especially that was like I was there when I got told I was benched in G2. So you can imagine.
Shit, so you just stayed longer?
Oh.
You can imagine the night that I got told about that.
Dude, HooXi's like, guys, I'm paying for everything. Go.
Well, basically, I had that vacation. Then I knew, okay, it's the last bit of the play break, so I'll probably not get a team. And then I knew the only thing that could pop up like after the play break would be Astralis at some point. And then they went with Cadian. And after that, there was no real options until the next break. And that's where like I got completely screwed over in terms of like the whole VIS Valve ranking thing system, all that stuff.
Keeping the core of a team,
like not being a part of a core and going into that player break is probably the worst thing that can happen to a player. Because you have to be like irreplaceable basically to get a team at that point. So after that I got really nervous, like because then now I've already been out for 6 months, and it's like, okay, do people want to take a chance on like if I still know how to play the game? Like, did I completely? I could might as well become worse at the game and worse at like calling and stuff.
Oh
So
no.
so that was obviously scary. And when I saw this opportunity came from Astralis to play just one tournament, I was just so happy because that meant that I could control something again. That I was not just
Yeah.
sitting there like waiting for some miracle to happen. So yeah, that time obviously like for the first 6 months I was not worried at all. I spent it on working on myself, reflecting, starting in the
Nice.
gym, making a better routine for myself that would focus like more on keeping myself in shape in the
Hmm.
game as well, and played as much as my mental could could handle in terms of Face It because holy fuck, Face It is a challenge sometimes.
Oh, me and Dev will no, we're not playing at your level. We're playing a little bit lower down, and it's still tedious.
Bruh, it's tough sometimes. But I swear to God, like I I get killed on Face It in ways that Saiwu couldn't do to me, or Dunk. I don't know how they do it, but whatever. Um, yeah, and then
How long did you have actually from like taking this rejuvenation journey or whatever you want to call it into okay, we have an event. I'm going with Astralis. When did you start practicing? When did you start talking to each other? What happened like going into that event? Because if you look at the event itself and how you played and how you meshed together, it
mm,
could have looked like you had played together for 6 months.
I can look at my calendar if you want, because it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
So basically on the 23rd of April we have the first practice day. Then they have some. Then we have like 2 days in a row. Then they have some media obligations, and then we practice again Monday until Friday. And overall, it's like 2 weeks roughly from the first day we speak everyone together as a team until we have to take the flight to Astana, and it's 9 practice days. So yeah,
That's not much. Like that's a few practices per map,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
So how much could you change from their like approach? Because you could see some like actual differences to what they played with Cadian and what you played with you guys. I felt like one example I always felt was you were holding utility a lot more, playing the rounds a lot slower than they previously did.
Yeah, but it's obviously, as you know, like completely map dependent because
Yeah,
yeah, that's just obvious. But I think that on some maps, I tried to keep as much as I could from their old playbook because we obviously were limited on time, and also they it was working for them. Ancient mostly. Um,
Hmm.
and on other maps, like for example Nuke, they actually already had some of my stuff because they stole it, so that was nice. And and I could also just like mesh things together a bit, and it was fine. And then on other maps, I would just completely change everything. And also a map like Train, for example, I've never played officially, which people maybe forget, but it was literally my first time playing Train, practicing Train. So that was also a bit weird. So yeah, I think some things was general that had to be changed. Like for example, the way Cadian plays versus the way I play. Like Cadian is like an AWPer by
yeah,
heart, and he's like not a space taking IGL where I'm like I want to go first. I want to be in the center of everything, and I don't want to be like a lurker at any point, unless I
yeah.
really have to. Where like let's just say on Mirage, for example, like he would send the team to execute on A, and he would be BFs.
Okay.
That's not something I can ever see myself call. So stuff like that I had to change, and then on Dust 2, for example, I think they just kind of gave up on Dust 2, to be honest, because like I was watching I think 5 T sides, and then I came to practice the next day, and I asked the guys like who's playing where, like who's playing where in default, because I don't know who's playing outside long, because they never did default on a map like Dust 2, which I feel like is weird, but that's a behavior you have as a team if you just don't feel good on the map and you don't feel like everything is working.
Yeah,
Then
like have a gamble with the extra man.
just go gamble and full set strat. So I get where they're coming from, but I wanted to give it a shot, like playing more normal. But there's a bunch of things, like there's a million things that we changed in 9 days. It's actually crazy how much time or how well we spent the time, I think.
Yeah. And how was it to be back with Yabby? Like, there's gonna be some good memories coming back together.
I don't know, like it's funny because like in some ways he changed. Because obviously, like when I played with him, he still is a young guy, so you're changing through those years, right? And yeah, but at the same time, he's still the same annoying little kid that I played with. So this team is super troll, just in general.
Really?
Yeah, we have a lot of fun, and like people are constantly rage baiting each other, and it's a lot of fun in general. Also,
I wouldn't
Device is
expect that.
also
This
a
is
Tottenham
great.
fan or Spurs fan.
Device,
Yeah.
good guy.
Nope. But
Nope.
so yeah,
For some, he's a good guy.
for some, but you know, I think we clicked instantly, like in terms of having fun and making it work throughout the practice day and all this, and then
You could go back to that Danish humor yourself.
yes, that was so
Yeah.
nice. Like that was the easiest thing in the world. Like going into this team, it was like, you know, it was like I've been there before, kinda. So
Oh, that's nice. That's so important.
yeah, so that's probably also why it looked like, you know, it hasn't only been 9 days.
Yeah. How did they come to you, by the way, at the initial part? Like, how was this the approach in? Was it just like one event, come hang out and try this out, or like was it more serious? Sit down,
hang out.
No, it was basically just like they contacted me and they said,
Who contacted you first? Was it a player first, or
I can't even remember, honestly. I I think a player was just like, what are you even up to right now? Like, can you actually like, what's going on? Like, do you have a fucking job?
can you shoot?
Did you give up on TS? What's going on? And then I was like, no, I'm good. I just wanna get back ASAP. And then I think I just asked, I just talked to somebody from Astralis, and they just said, well, we're looking for a stand-in for this event, and do you want to try? And remember to apply for visa for US if we are lucky for the major and stuff like this. And yeah, that was very simple, honestly.
Oh, so that if they'd made the major, there was still a chance you would go?
If they got a wild card for the major, I would go with them. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh wow, that would have been crazy.
That would have been
crazy.
fun.
Yeah, one Hail Mary for the major.
Yep.
HooXi and Astralis.
Yep.
Now, obviously, expectations, I can imagine, were kind of up in the air.
This was a good pressure moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, the good pressure.
Yep.
But like, well, I remember when we did the first interview, you were so chill. You were so relaxed. We did the sit down one.
Oh yeah, my shirt was fucking. Why didn't you say anything? My shirt was looking so shit in that chair.
Well, I'm not looking at your. I was just too busy looking at your muscles. I was like, damn, look at him go on gym.
Shut up. I don't know. It was just another media day, and I come to a tournament with no pressure at all. Like we could bomb out, lose 2 games, and go home, and nobody would bat an eye. So why wouldn't I be relaxed?
But did you expect to be able to get your players so in form? Because like Stown looked like the Stown we've been missing for a long time. And how much credit can you take for that? Is it just the way you set them up? Is that how you got things going? Because I feel like this wasn't just an over performance. This was getting to see the players do what we've expected them to do. Because prior to you, it was a bit of Stare and Yabby, sometimes Device. Stown was not up to his normal level. I think he'll happily admit that as well. And it was like there was problems, and obviously Cadian was forced into not being an All Pro anymore, and it was kind of awkward. But then you come along, whatever changes you were managed to make that you were just talking about is like we saw them potential be maximized.
I don't know how much credit I can take. I think that some of the credit goes to the way I play compared to how they played before, and
Mhm.
some of it goes to, just making a change in general will give you some belief and some a breath of fresh air, and I think that also just helps. And I can say that just from the first few practices, like I was actually happily surprised of like the individual level. I thought it would be worse,
Mhm.
and I thought that was like the main reason why they were struggling.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think necessarily this. I think that could become like that. It will take a lot of hard work to get to the same level as like, Vitality, Falcons, Spirit, those
Yeah.
kind of teams, Mouse. Um, But for the rest of like, I think Astralis would happily take a top 5 placement right now in the world.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think for that is totally realistic with how everything is right now. So, yeah, when it comes to the credit for Down, I don't know how much I like. A lot of the credit goes to him for also playing well,
Yeah.
and I think he can do even better.
Definitely. And look at this run you guys had, right? Admittedly, the first game we played against Odic, I
Mm,
guess we could be a little bit worried because the Ancient was previously looking pretty good, and you somehow let that Ancient slip away. But it is the first game back in an official.
yep.
After that game, how did you guys feel? Like a win's a win, but was it
Yeah.
still like
I was just happy to get the first game out of the way because I
yeah,
usually am not really that nervous, but for some weird reason, I just felt like I had the biggest jitters like before the first map.
really?
Yeah, I was just sitting there like full pumped up. I don't know why. And when it comes to the ancient, like I said before when we were practicing and we were talking about how we wanted to play, I said like,
Mm.
so you guys just play around, always all getting middle, and they said yeah, and then I said, what's the plan if we can't get middle? And they said, but we always do. And I said, okay, fine. Uh,
Did you
let's
get middle?
let's try. Well, we lost 13-2. What do you think? uh, but then I said, fine, let's just do that because obviously we were on a limited amount of time, so
Yeah.
had to skip somewhere. And yeah, it went to shit, and then uh, we talked about it, and we were like, okay, if we just do this and that the next time, it will work out. And we were like, okay, fine, and we tried that, and yeah, then we went on to the next game. But I was just really happy that we won.
It seems also like when you're going through this journey of this tournament that it's almost like you're going through theory as well, like you're consistently improving game by game and adding
Yeah,
things and rules and structure.
yeah, that's how it is.
Uh, and but more so than like a team that would be together, right?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to fix, right? Which is for a
Yeah,
few days, and I think just in general, when you get a team where the confidence is low and where like we haven't had a lot of time together, the confidence is building every time you win, and at the same time, like every mistake you make, you can get something out of, and people are
yeah.
hungry to do it as well. And yeah, I think that's just a natural thing that you look better game by game in that scenario.
And then looking at that, right? You beat Pain, but they have their coach standing in, so
Yeah,
you're definitely expected to win that.
yeah,
You lose to Spirit,
yeah,
and it wasn't pretty, but it is Spirit after all. You beat
bro.
VP.
If you go and
Oh,
watch that Dust 2, I am 100% sure that if you give us another shot at that T side, we close it out. I don't know, like 13 to, I don't know, 8, 9 or something. We had,
why? Why'd you say that?
bro, we have a pistol round where we're like 5v3 and we run down and chase a guy who's in CT buy zone and then they defuse. Then we have another 2v1 after plant on B that is
Mhm.
unlosable that we somehow managed to lose. Then we have another round where we're like, I think we had 2v2 and we have like A side planned or something. I can't remember exactly, but we have like 3 rounds against a team like Spirit on Dust 2 where we can close it out, and like it's the best Dust 2 team in the world against the worst. I would argue. So
Previous worst.
I was so happy
Yeah.
about, like, after that first map. I said to the guys, like, if we can play like this on Dust 2, like, we will smash them. And then we go on Ancient and then we do the exact same we did against Nordic. And it was after this game that I said enough is enough. Like, now we cannot
Not
play
doing
around
Ancient
this.
anymore.
We can play Ancient, but we cannot do this middle thing anymore. Like, it's not working for us. Maybe it worked before, but it's not the same. And I just want to like try something else. And then we tried something else, and that was it. Just felt way better.
You tried something else against VP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that went 3 maps. You win it overtime on Dust 2, then you lose your Inferno. Obviously, you're still going through what you can do here. How good did it feel to get the win on Ancient for that, though? Did that show that, like, okay, hey, look, guys, my way's working?
No, it was not so. I didn't put any thought into that. It was more about like getting to playoffs. That felt really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, because I really, like, I haven't been on a stage forever. Like, I wanted to get back.
Yeah, I told you how many days it was when we did the interview. I was like, it's been this many days. This is a crazy amount.
Yeah. So I was just super happy to be going like further in the tournament and to get to that spot.
Well, we already spoke about the Chinese fans loving you. Never did I expect to have the Kazakhstan crowd also loving you. Have you got a Kazakhstan social media profile somewhere, HooXi, I don't know about?
No, I have no clue.
You must have.
Bro, he's milking country fans somehow. Just like he's hit the social media jackpot, because I tried to do the interview and I just stopped because all I heard was HooXi, 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 and I'm like, this is amazing. Like HooXi's the fan favorite.
Yeah, it was insane. Also because, like,
But it didn't matter what team you were playing. You're playing like home. What's supposed to be, like the home teams, and they're cheering you.
Yeah, I was so surprised. Like, I was just like thinking, is it some kind of weird mix of like Russian fans liking me because of Monacy and Chinese fans loving me, and then they just like meet in the middle, and that's somehow Kazakhstan, or what's going on? I have no clue what's going on. But
geopolitics.
I have no clue. But obviously I was just super happy about it. It was
special.
So cool. Yeah, it was so cool.
And you beat NaVi.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
finally,
NaVi's a team you struggled against on G2.
Yes.
And you get it with this team on a stage in, like what you just said, a crowd that should be maybe more on their side given the region.
Struggled is not the right word. I don't know. They were unbeatable for us. It was some curse. I don't know how. So
you were bullied.
Yeah. It was always like the same story of like a close game, and then we somehow just managed to lose to some crazy shit. But
yeah,
that felt extra good. Obviously, I also, when I shook Alexis' hand, I said, "Finally, I got you." I was so happy.
No!
But he's down. But he's a cool guy. He just smiled back, and I think he would probably rather lose there than in Copenhagen. So I think he's fine.
What was the harder game for you, by the way, between NaVi and Aurora? Because Aurora Mirage, I felt like you could have won that Mirage game.
Yeah.
And then obviously I wouldn't say dominate on Nuke, but you had a comfortable CT side, like their T side didn't get going. And then Train looked almost too easy. But it seemed at moments like Aurora might have been able to take some more control away from you.
Yeah, I think, how NaVi was a tough team for us in G2. I think that there's just this thing for all teams. And Aurora is a team that my players apparently just like to play against. They feel comfortable against them, and they were just confident going into that. So I feel like NaVi was the toughest one, both for me personally, but also for the team. So like when we beat NaVi and we already like riding on a high, and then we go into Aurora, I felt like that, like we got this for sure if we just play up to our level. So but then when you throw Mirage like we did, like, I obviously got a bit worried.
That's what I was thinking, because it's like, for me, it was a Mirage, which obviously Aurora love, and look at like their aimers, and you basically had it. And then when it crumbled, I was just a little bit nervous that, wait a second, can it slip at this point? So that's why I asked if it could have been harder. But you were still that confident?
it was just like it was the same scenario as against Spirit on Dust 2. Like I was like,
Mhm.
okay, we might have thrown this away and it was fucking bullshit, but we can't obviously change it now. So let's just focus on the
Yeah.
fact that we should have won on freaking Mirage against these guys, and now we're playing
Yeah.
Nuke and Train. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fucking Christmas Eve. Let's go. So yeah, pretty confident.
And then
still.
we come in, and then we come into the grand finals. The
Mm.
grand finals versus Spirit. Now it did start quite badly, admittedly.
You can say that.
Again on Dust 2. You told me just a little bit earlier, HooXi, as well. You could have won better on Dust 2 if you played that again.
Mhm.
Well, you did play it again, and it got worse.
Mm-hmm. I have no clue. I have no clue how. Like for me, okay, it was a special game in a lot of ways because we already played the map against them once in the tournament. So there's like some
Yeah.
mind games.
And you
But-
lost, so you should have been better, no? That's what you've been telling us all podcast long.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like they kept doing the exact same shit on their T side, and
That's what Spirit do.
I don't even know what happened. Like I was just standing on long, and I felt useless the whole game. They never came long, and I was like, okay, surely fucking Spirit is not scared of me, right? Like they're not making a game plan to avoid me, right? I felt like I
Dogs like, no, it's HooXi. Stay away from HooXi. The
No,
Giga Chat will
Don't
get
get away!
No, but I was watching the vlog like at some point in the tournament, and and they said like, "Holy shit, HooXi, he just one-shotted me when I ran catwalk," and I was like, "Yeah, bro." So maybe they got scared. I don't know, but I mean, literally like now it's just one tournament, and I was standing. So like, why would I look back at it? Because it's the final, like it's the final game. I cannot get anything out of thinking about that CT side again, but that we lost
Yeah.
11-1. But if I had to go back and look at it and like it was on the team and I had to change like stuff, I think I would be mind blown like how we lost because they did the exact same things all over again and somehow we just get completely smashed. I have no clue how. Obviously, like it stunk and you know shit can happen when you play this guy because he's just running you down. But yeah, I don't know.
We can skip Nuke as well, but I want to talk about Mirage because
Do you really want to skip Nuke? Because we should have fucking won that.
yeah, but you should have won Nuke. That's why I didn't want to make you any more pain. I was going to go on to the positives.
Oh, I thought that
can
was
go
the
over
whole
Nuke if you
theme
want.
of the thing to make me feel pain.
No, I'm trying to bring some positives because this event should be
We have
positive.
a document here. Top make HooXi feel pain.
Lost 1v3, lost 1v2.
Okay, so you've done this yourself now. If you want to talk about Nuke, we can talk about Nuke.
I
You
just
felt like
want,
you should have had it.
I just wanted to mention
You were
that
10-10.
we were the better team tactically, 100%. We played so much better, but
Yeah.
when it came down to clutch situations and X on X, we played like a bunch of noobs. And that's why we lost. There's nothing much to say besides that. Because we should have won. We had them exactly where we wanted them, but
Yeah.
unlucky.
But this is like as a viewer, you know, you obviously as a viewer you go into this game and you think, okay, it's Astralis, they're gonna get fucking smashed by Spirit.
Hmm.
The first map happens, that's how it ends up, and then you go into Nuke, and you start actually believe in you guys. You
Yeah.
must have
Yep.
felt that kind of wave as well, where like, okay, we're actually pushing these guys. They're actually not, you know, just running us over.
Yeah. Well, I believe that from before we even played, because as I said, like the first game we played against them, we almost like in my head we should have won those two, and then I came into the final. I was obviously preparing before the day before, and
Yeah.
just like watching how they play, and I felt super confident in our game plan and like what we could do, and uh, yeah, I didn't need anything special to happen in the game to feel confident against them. Honestly, I really thought we would win. So, yeah, I believe the whole way.
But this Mirage, this was special because this is where Donk's supposed to be able to do all the dirty work. He's supposed to be able to come through on top. They even won a couple of clutches against you guys, but you still won 13-5.
Hmm.
And they have 2 clutches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was impressive. And this was the Staunen that I wanted to see for a long time.
Yeah, that's like we got a really good CT side, considering we lost the pistol, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, then MR12 happens, and if you get a decent first half and you win the pistol, then the opponent is left with no choice but to just keep forcing and making like bad buys, because that's how the game works right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was just perfect for us. There was not really much to say. I think it was also, like, looking back, really really nice for us that we got to play like a 13-11 game the day before, so we had something to go off of and to learn from.
Mm.
So yeah, overall, I'm just super happy about that one, because obviously, like, I think everyone went into this game thinking, okay, they have no chance on Dust 2 and Mirage, but if they win Nuke and Train, maybe they can do something. So when we lost
Yeah.
Nuke, like, everyone was kind of out of it, but then we got one back.
And if you guys thought that, or you think that you should have won Dust 2 in this grand final, if we move into Train, what did you think about this one?
Oh,
Well,
11-9 up, and it's a map they've been struggling on. You had them.
even have an 8-3 or 7-2 start on the T side.
yeah, well, the point it all starts to collapse is actually 10-5, because we are up. We win 8-4, and then
They won both
we
pistols.
lose
You
the
win the
pistol, but we
second
win
round.
the second round, and then that's where we should close Train out. Like, if you win the second round and your CT Train, that's the best chance you will get. And then we throw
Mhm.
around where they go in, and from that point onwards, they just obviously like snowball completely. And I think it's even a miracle that we get it into OT somehow. But I think it's like they are obviously struggling on this map. They showed that
Yeah.
many of times now against NIP and us and whoever.
Furia they lost against.
Yeah, Fury as well. And I think that if I had a bit more experience on the map as well, like, obviously I
Yeah.
practiced it maybe 4 or 5 times and then played it for the first time here in the final, then I would also have played like my CT side better, because I had a very bad game individually in this map, and I could probably have helped a bit more in terms of like how to crack the code on CT. But it's tough when
Mhm.
you play it for one of the first times. So
Yeah.
you know it sucks. I would have liked to see what happened if we played Ancient again, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I think, like, now that it's a bit, we had a few weeks, I guess, to
Yeah.
reflect. It's it's fair that they won. They should win every day of the week. So uh, could be happy with a second place a little bit, even though I still, like, I'm just curious about the last map. What would have happened, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
wanted to see it.
I was definitely rooting for you guys. I wanted a fifth map.
Yeah,
And yeah, 100%.
I think a lot
And
of people
even,
were.
yeah, and even like, coming second place, you have to kind of distance it from, obviously for the people that didn't watch or they haven't followed. This is not Astralis that pretty much nobody believed in from the start of the event. They were very low on the radar, so to speak.
Mhm.
And then going to a grand final, that must have, like, it's kind of like the perfect return of HooXi in a way. Not
Yeah,
exactly perfect, but you know,
close to it, I think.
close to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, I was just happy that I could put on like a good individual showing enough for people to see that I actually put in some work, and
Yeah.
uh, you know,
That 4K on Dust too, that was
that was
highlighted everywhere.
that was that was
was
Bro,
sick,
sick.
the
bro.
smoke. The smoke. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I haven't honestly played
Oh.
that much Dust 2 either, even though I've been on G2. Like, because for a long time Dust 2 was not in the map pool. So
Mm.
Yeah.
I actually haven't played Dust 2 much, but I've seen people do this trick enough times, going into the smoke on an execute, to know that it works every time. So I was
Dude,
like,
that ruined them. That
Were you
ruined them
surprised that you
completely.
got like that third kill through the
oh,
smoke when you were shooting
I
one
didn't
guy?
realize it until like after the round, basically. I was like, I got 4. Okay, shit.
All right, I'll take it.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did my job.
yeah.
And dude, like first event back, you have limited practice. You have all these things going against you. Obviously, you've not played in so long, and you do it with a team that's been massively struggling. To get second place, what was the reaction like just from the Astralis management, the players themselves who have been struggling? Because for you, right, it's one thing, but for them, I think they needed this so much.
Yeah. Well, for Astralis management, I haven't heard much, honestly.
Of course, they're fucking things up.
we have we have a WhatsApp group where there was some messages, but besides that, not much. And then from the players, like we're obviously just happy, you know, to make it there, but at the same time, we were just disappointed because it was right there. Like we were so
Yeah.
close, and we felt like we were the better team.
Mm.
And if it wasn't for fucking Dunk smashing us, then obviously we could have done more. But no, I think it was like a weird state of like being disappointed, but also you know it was kind of good. So yeah,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
I think you should feel proud of it. I think,
Definitely.
especially the longer time goes on, if you actually
Yeah.
like mount up your time versus other people's time, you go into this tournament, you've done exceedingly well, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I also noticed, like watching you guys play, you guys were pretty much smiling, joking
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
single
but
round.
but that's what I'm saying. They're a bunch of trolls. It's crazy how much they're trolling. So yeah, it's hard not to. But I think that's also just something that I learned from my time in G2 compared to now. That I've, when I was playing in Flames, we were always playing official. We played official as practice, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you kind of had to always develop even in officials. So I had this mindset of like we have to fix mistakes in officials. And then when I came to G2, I had the same mindset and it was harder to get out of. But now that I've like had more time to reflect and think about it, it's just like it doesn't help anything. Like no matter how shitty of a situation you're in or how shitty of a mistake you make, you just need to move on. And then you
Mm.
Yeah.
can talk about it after. You can change something after, and like you need to have like other backup plans than to try and fix plan A. So I think that's like a huge thing, and also why we looked happy all the time because it's like you just have to move on.
Yeah.
There was a funny moment where I saw you coming back on the stage in between one of the maps, and like Yabby's in front of you, and you two are joking around, and you like basically almost push him up the stairs. And I'm like, what the hell are these guys doing before we go? I'm like, if heroics luck, someone would fall over and break an arm, but it's them old days. But like, it just did look like you guys were enjoying being back together, trolling each other, having fun,
uh,
and that's obviously such an important factor of CS that sometimes can be missing.
mm,
Lastly, actually, I want to ask you how it was with Rugger. Like, how was it working with him?
um,
What's he like as a coach for you?
I think it was good for like the small amount of time. I honestly didn't know what to expect because he's had his time in OG and it was like
Yeah,
I don't know if it
eh,
was like yeah, it was like meh. It was like not bad,
yeah,
not good. It was just like in between. And then obviously they haven't succeeded much in Astralis. So I didn't know like really if I had any huge expectations, but I think he's doing a very good job at like fixing mistakes when we practice like live. It's not that we just sit like play 4 pracs and then he says something at the end of the day, takes pauses and like fixes things in the middle of the game, which I like. And
mm,
then his prep work was totally fine. We had some good city sites and some good rounds, some good gimmicks here and there. So um, and I think he's very good at like handling a group, which I think is a huge thing for a coach to
yeah,
understand, like when to be harsh and when to be like a bit nicer to people. And
yeah.
I don't think this is an easy group to control either. So
Doesn't sound like it.
yeah, so I think overall he's doing a good job.
And so, say this right at the moment, as far as I understand it, the Stars haven't offered you anything. There's nothing else going.
No, nothing.
So what's this communication like? You're just waiting, hoping. I know like there's rumors about the organization. I'm not going to ask you about that. You don't know anything about that. It's what's public, right? But it's more like, where are you sat right now? What's HooXi doing?
I think that Astralis is in a place right now, as you know, with all the rumors and stuff, where like I don't know, like things are a bit in a limbo in a way. Like we don't really know what's going on, and I'm not sure if they know either. And as an organization and a team for them, they don't have anything to do for the next 5 weeks. They have like they are not going to the major, and then there's a player break. So nobody's really in a rush either. If something was to like happen with the like me signing with them or anything, like there's no rush anyway. So and I think that if I would have to consider a lot of other things, it would also be after the major. So I'm just back to the grind I was doing before, playing DM.
Mental preparation and face it.
Yep, mental gymnastics and you know, playing face it here and there, and yeah, just happy that now I go back and I know that what I'm doing is actually working, which I didn't have like confirmation of before. So yeah, I don't know what the future looks like, but it certainly got a bit brighter after this one.
You're on a bit of a win streak on Old Face It right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
Bro,
in a row.
Look at my
that's
ADR.
pretty good.
If you remove the name, you didn't know if it was Donga HooXi, honestly.
Yeah, look, there's 125, 126, 110, 106, 121, 124. This guy's back fully, just grinding out Elo.
Yeah.
Do you play with some friends or just solo?
No, I play with my friends all the time.
By the way, you're the only verified profile. Tell these guys to get verified, otherwise they're gonna get done for smurfing. Oh, you're playing with TML in there?
Yeah.
Bloody hell!
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, man.
Danish stacks, they're the worst on Facebook.
No, Finnish stacks right now. If I see a Finnish stack, I might just GG.
Yes, I agree.
I might full GG.
I can't remember the last time I won against full Finland though. So,
when it's full Finnish team, I may as well just not play the game. I may as well just dodge.
Yeah. We discuss it every time as well. Should we just leave?
Bro, they're the worst stream snipers as well. Like they've even come in my chat while I'm playing and been like, "Oh, no, it's you, Banks. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Good to have you here with me."
I'm too scared to stream.
I would love a HooXi stream. I would love a HooXi stream.
Nah.
Only on Chinese social medias. That's great.
Yeah. He'd be top dog then. But
maybe.
Okay, let's ask you this. You're obviously waiting to see what happens. If Astralis offered you today and said you want to do it and all the players agreed, would you say yes?
Probably, yeah. Like I like the guys and I think that there's way more potential, so I don't see why not. But at the same time, like I don't know what else could come up, and until it's like a reality, I don't even want to put too much thought into it, because you know, I've done that before and you just end up getting disappointed. So
has there been other offers though? Has there been other orgs that have already reached out or said potential, or they're not sure yet?
Like since Astana, no, there hasn't been like anything crazy yet. But I think that's just normal with the Dallas and the major coming up. So yeah, we will.
I think you've at least put yourself in a lot better situation than last time you had a break.
Yeah, like it's also very weird to like. It would be weird if there was like an offer on the table, but I will say that like some people wanted to talk to me all of a sudden.
There we go. Friends have reached out. Oh, HooXi, you're here again.
So yeah, maybe. But
I'm sure, face on Steam.
I'm sure I will be back to playing after the break. So that's at least what I hope for.
I'll be very happy to see you again, interview you more time, and you'll be back to all those duties again.
We have nothing to talk about after this. We have talked for 4 hours.
Hey, when you join a new team, I'm going to have more questions. Just going to say it that way. We'll be back again.
I might as well just join Astralis then.
If you join Astralis, you can actually avoid me. You can actually avoid me then. HooXi, first of all, thank you so much for giving us the most incredible episode of the podcast so far. We're only on episode 13 and you smashed all my expectations. He said he was going to yap. I did not expect this yapping. My wife
We did
finished
2
making
in 1
food.
episode.
Yeah, we actually got 2 episodes in one. My wife finished making food an hour ago and she's going to be like, where the hell are you? So luckily she understands. But I want to give you just an opportunity because I'll tell you this, on our Discord, you've had the most questions of anyone else. Like, more questions than what came from Munacy, and loads of people have been giving you so much love. So we will do that in a sec. But just, is there anything you want to say to all the fans out there, people that love you and the people that want to see you return? Even the haters.
Well, the haters are not getting any attention, but no, I don't know. I can't find like new ways of saying the same thing because I'm so amazed by all the support that I'm getting, especially right now, and the fact that I can get a full stadium in Kazakh to yell my name is completely nuts. So I don't know what to say besides I'm super grateful and I hope it will continue.
I'm sure it will. I believe in it. That's for sure. Now, the last part is just to take some of the questions that our Discord has given you, and I'll just say we were having to scroll for so long on these questions, and obviously filter some of the questions. So, like, I'm going to read you some of the questions. I'm going to read some of like the nice bits. One guy said, "Hello, Mr. Gigachad HooXi. Love you, man. People happy. People happy."
All right. Thank you.
Bro, there's the amount of people that come in here and like they are saying,
I even got
"We
a
love you,
DM.
Gigachad."
I think
Did
that's a guy from your community, I'm sure.
Oh hell
HooXi,
yeah!
I love you, Pookie. Hope to see you in tier 1. We need an alpha giga chat mail. All right.
See,
There you
I
go.
love this.
Yep.
This is it. You can't escape it, bro.
No, it's all good.
All right. So the first question comes from a guy called Lancer, and he said, in the last interview, Munacy said that out of the last 3 IGLs he played with, HooXi, Alexi, and Snacks, he thinks you're the best, and he's never seen anyone work as hard as you. How did it feel? Oh, we've kind of answered that. We've asked that
we've
question.
answered
So
that
we can,
in the actual podcast.
already in the episode.
Yeah, go back like 1.5 hours or something.
It's something in between these 4 hours.
Good luck. you'll find it if you listen to the whole podcast, Lancer. All right, I need to vet some of these questions because we spoke about so much.
Yeah, good luck finding something we didn't talk about.
That's the problem.
A guy called Change It said, as there was some overwhelming and negative news surrounding Astralis before Astana, how did you change the mood / vibes within the team to a positive outlook? I guess we didn't really answer that.
But like, what does he actually mean by negative vibes? Like in terms of like the whole.
There was just negative news about them, public perception.
Yeah, public perception probably more.
So how did you make it like
struggling?
But I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't do anything. I just came in, and all of a sudden, the people are going crazy. I don't know.
He was just himself.
That's what surprised me so much as well, because I knew, like, there's this whole thing with like the old heroic always being booed, and the whole stabby thing is blowing up again now that KDN is out, and I really thought like everyone would just boo us out of the stadium and stuff like this, but I'm happily, positively surprised, I guess. But I didn't really do anything at all. I just, yeah.
You're just the son of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I'm just here.
Hey, that's a good answer. Yeah, well, you answer this next one. I've highlighted it for you.
Where are you? Here. Trackball. That's the one?
No, the one above.
What the hell? You're highlighting different things here in the document. Okay, from Jackson. How was it playing with the GOAT device?
Oh, that was nice. Finally, to get a chance to play with him. I don't know. He's. I knew him a little bit from playing a little bit of Faceit with him and talking to him, but I didn't know he was like on this level of being a troll. He's like next level troll. But I've always seen him like a professional. Like he's this kind of Tom Cruise kind of guy that is like, just always serious and stuff. But that's definitely not the case. And no, but he's obviously a next level talent. I think he could stop playing for 2 years, come back and do the exact same thing. It's just in his veins to play CS, I think. And I don't know. He he's like very professional, obviously, and he has a lot of experience, but he's not, you know, a kind of guy who just walks into a room and thinks he owns the whole thing. So
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, just a good guy in general. And in case I get to play with him again, I don't want to praise him too much.
Don't flare his ego.
Before you have to scold him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
But you said that. Nah.
No. All right. Trackball next said, "What are the things you didn't have time to implement or couldn't, but could have made your results at G2 better?" Interesting.
Oh, in G2, I thought he would ask me
Mhm.
Astralis. Well, I had all the time in the world in G2, so it's not like I didn't have time to do things, but it's more like reflecting and looking back, like what should have been done differently. I think we already talked about a lot of it, but I think if I could go back and know what I know about CS2 now, I would probably have added some more structure when the game switched. Because I think we had a really good idea of how to play CS:GO, but I think CS2 we never really found the right way to play. Yeah, then I would probably have prioritized a bit differently in terms of like myself versus the team and how much work I put into myself. And then I was actually going to the gym for like 3 weeks before I joined G2, and I wish I could go back and just keep doing that instead of stopping again, because I think that's very good for like not only your body but your mental health as well.
Yeah,
So yeah.
very true. Devil, next one's you.
Jeff is cool. What was the main
Wait, this is the guy who
challenges?
DM'd me, by the way.
Is it?
Oh, is it? Yay! There we go.
What was the
He's a
main
DMer.
challenges taking on the Astralis roster as a last minute in game leader?
Oh, it's just the time. Like the limit of time to talk about like all these like small situations, how to react, how to deal with certain plays and the pressure and like in game in terms of like pressure with like nades and stuff. So yeah, it's just a lack of time, and I would have liked to have like at least like 20 to 30 more precs on train to know how to like play my own spot. And yeah,
You're
I
playing pop?
I was playing Ivy.
Okay.
That's my
okay.
position. That's
Yeah.
easy. Even I can play that position, HooXi. God, I'm playing on Face It. You can do that.
Well, the thing is, they were playing so weirdly before, where it was like almost device playing Ivy before, and
Really?
Oh.
Why?
no, but a lot of teams are doing this right now, where their AWPer is basically the Ivy player for like half the time, and yeah,
Shouldn't it be like more con and floating A?
yeah, that's what it was at the old train at least, and that's how I
Yeah.
like expected it to be. But apparently,
Interesting.
that's just not the meta right now. But yeah, would have liked a bit more reps, and
Yeah.
just in general like talk about, getting to a point where you can talk about like X and X situations and after plans and
hmm
retakes and all this. We never got to that. We just had to do everything on the fly.
And on Face It, you're not getting many games on train because it's always being banned so quickly, right?
Well,
That's
also,
never happening.
also the train games you get has nothing to do with how you play it.
Hey,
That
I'm
much.
just saying, a bit more experience.
I don't
Any
think
reps.
I don't think Ivy exists in Face It. Like nobody goes down there anyway. So yeah.
It's a hellhole. This, by the way, this is a beautiful question from Lancer. Says, "Be honest, and you must be honest here, HooXi. Have you ever told NiKo to shut up during a match? We know NiKo is a very vocal and experienced player. During matches, how do you balance his input with your role as IGL when your ideas clash? How do you make sure communication stays effective and doesn't turn into conflict, especially in high pressure moments?" This guy's cooking.
Yeah, that is a good question.
That
First
is
of
a
all,
good
I think
question.
I've never played I think I've said shut up to everyone I've ever played with at some point.
Hell
Uh,
yeah, even NiKo, that's good.
yeah, that's just how it works. Like people are yapping, and I need to yap more. That's how it works. And
Professional yapper.
yep. And in terms of like making things work and who has the last say and stuff like that, I think like I'm the IGL, and on T side especially, like I have the last say, and on CT
Mm-hmm.
side, I can like, I don't know, I can give him space to, because I really believe in like how he thought about CS. As like, obviously, if I'm saying that this guy understands CS on a different level than everyone else, I believe a lot in him, and I think that that was never like a problem or something I ever put too much thought into, honestly. And yeah, I don't know what else to say to that question. Honestly, it was never really
That's
That's
an
a
good.
good
issue.
answer.
That is good. Devil, answer the next one. Ask the next one even.
Is it on CJ.CS?
I'm glad George came. Yes, this. Well done. You are tracking correctly.
Okay, so it's jumping up and down sometimes from Bank's mouse here. But CJ.CS says, when joining a team that is in turmoil, how do you go about establishing your rapport as a leader? When the rapport is damaged, how do you go about fixing it and your own dynamic within the team? Example, winning Katowice after missing the Rio Major.
Well, that that's not so much about me. That's more about the team in a way, because like there is a point of no return for at some point. Like it's kind of like the same as when you say the coach is like losing the dressing room in football, right? Like
Yeah.
if the players just lost belief in you, does you might as well just fuck off. Like there's nothing to do for you here, because like that you have to have that. So yeah, what I do, like I don't think it's that big of a problem for me ever, because I listen so much to people already. So if they don't like how we play, it's kind of their own fault to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like to, get all the ingredients from the players and then make a meal out of it, in a way. Um, but yeah, I'm also the kind of guy who really likes to openly say to people, like, if you have anything you want to tell me, like feedback, or if you have a problem with me or something, please, like, just come to me and say it, even though if you think it's awkward or something, like, because I
Yeah.
cannot read your mind. And if it's a problem for you and I can fix it, please at least let me try. And yeah, I think that didn't happen in G2 in the end, and that's why I got kicked, basically.
Yeah.
um
Do you think some players are very like it's hard for a lot of players to always do that?
oh
To
yeah,
I
have
think
that
it's hard for
open
some
no,
players, for
transparency?
sure.
I think 9 out of 10 players don't do it.
Yeah.
And maybe,
There's like these honest conversations, right?
yeah, that you really have to force people to do this, because it's uncomfortable. I get it why you don't
Yeah.
want to do it. It's way easier to just keep it to yourself, and then when you get to a point where you just can't take it anymore, then you make a change or something, or like it
Mhm.
boils out of control. But yeah, I don't know. Uh, I think it's unhealthy for a team
Yeah.
to do it that way. So I always just try to encourage people to be straight up
Good.
with each other. But yeah, it's not always you get what you want.
No, no, definitely not. This one, you can just tell me if you don't remember it, because he says, I saw you pulled the Furia fake plant play in the grand final on Nuke. Absolutely love that. This is from Terry.
What?
2 questions relate.
It's
Yeah,
when you
Juliet.
went inner bomb sites in
Yeah,
the
but
smoke and just
how
tapped
the
it.
hell are you giving credit to Furia for that? I cooked it up on the same day as the final.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he says, was it inspired by the Furia play, or
No,
did you come up with it?
no, it's crazy. I I spent, I can't exactly remember how many hours I spent, but I went to bed at 3 a.m. the day before.
Mhm.
I woke up
Sounds like a HooXi moment.
I woke up 1 hour before my alarm. I don't know why.
How?
The first thing that popped into my mind was, this is a good idea for a force buy. I,
You just sat up in bed
yes,
like,
literally.
wait.
But I've never tried it before. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm calling this a HooXi moment, by the way. This is
Yeah,
being coined.
but I don't know how it happened. It is literally what happened. And I sent a message to my coach and I said, "You have no clue what I just cooked up." And then I went and found the nades, and then yeah,
Oh
I'm so
god.
happy it
And then
worked.
he says a follow up to this is, what is your favorite weird strat that you've ever seen pulled off in a professional tournament?
What? How am I supposed to figure that out on the spot?
We can skip it. You already answered one of his questions. Terry will be happy anyway.
Yeah, but I don't have a good answer either. I don't know.
Cool.
Like
So we'll skip that.
a favorite.
Devil, ask the next one.
From Town Kerr.
No. Bro, I'm
Trackball.
highlighting for you.
Oh,
How
you're
are you this
highlighting-
useless?
I
You
am.
two really need
From
some
Trackball.
better team play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we need to order. We need a coach actually.
Yeah,
13
Mind,
episodes in,
helping out?
and we don't have.
Okay. From Trackball. Who do you think should be responsible for building the structure of the team? The coach or the captain? Also, could you work in a team where the structure is built by a coach and you should just follow his instructions?
I'll answer the second question first. No, never.
Yeah.
I could never do that, and I've always been bad at it, and that's also why instead of just taking whatever Kadian had with this lineup and doing that, I just tried to implement as much as I could of my own as well as I could, because I'm really bad at, like, it's not that the ideas or the strats that they're using are bad. It's just I don't understand it fully, like from the ground up, so I'm just not good at using it. And when it comes to like who should do the whole structure thing, coach or IGL, I think there's not a right or wrong answer. I think it depends on the personalities and how they work the best. I think that the most common thing is for the coach to give the IGL space on T side and then help focus more on CT. But yeah, I think there's, as I said, no right or wrong answer.
Thank you very much. Now, this is the one that Devil tried to read out, but I'll do it. Town Kerr, when you command, do you prefer to give a general direction and rely on your teammates to play in each position, or reduce the freedom of the team members and arrange a detailed plan like Alexi B? I think we kind of already know what you prefer in this, but I'll let you answer it.
Yeah, well, I'm leaning a bit more in the direction of Alexi now than I did before, but I'm definitely still more of a freedom kind of guy. But I think the nature of CS2 just, invites a bit more structure in general, and that it's just strong to run and have trade potential instead of having a lot of lurks and putting pressure 4 places at the same time and stuff like this. So yeah, definitely need some structure to keep a good base level, but you also need some X factor to have that extra gear to win tournaments.
Yeah. Next one, Devil
All
Walk.
right. From Sapple. What's the most
Well
difficult part of prepping for an entire tournament? We're improving here.
Damn, you nailed it. Sick. Well, the prep before a tournament is pretty simple. You just focus on yourself. You focus on making your own team as good as possible in as many situations as possible. And I don't think there will ever be like a perfect preparation for anything. It's just literally impossible to have. And
Yeah.
I mean, even if you have the perfect prep, sometimes you have the perfect plan, perfect execute, and you lose the round anyway.
yeah, that's the beauty of the game as well. So
yeah,
and well, then prepping throughout a tournament, like a whole tournament, it's just every day you get a new opponent and you just have to get back to prepping as fast as you can, and when you're done you go to sleep, and then you wake up and then you tell the prep to the rest, and then that's it. And you just pray to God that you get the early semifinal so you have more time to prep for the final.
Yeah. This one, you've answered part of it, but I'll ask the second part. It's from NVCJ. He says, "Hi, happy to see you back in the scene." Oh, isn't that nice?
Hello.
How did you feel in How did you feel in that period without a team? Obviously, we've already touched on that, but this part's interesting. He said, "How did you not lose confidence in yourself? Most of the time when people are not employed for a long time, they're starting to give up or look for another type of job." So yeah, how did you keep that motivation going?
Well, to be fair, there was not much confidence to lose in the first place. It
Aw.
was more about building up confidence again. And I don't know, confidence is a weird thing. Mostly you get it from, succeeding in something. But like one, I think, factor that you can control yourself is just to, like, I get confidence from being prepared and from knowing that I put a lot of hard work into something, then I feel confident in my ability more than if I didn't, right? So
Yeah.
that's like, in terms of motivation, I don't know, I haven't really tried to lose motivation yet too much. I've tried burnout a bit, but that's not really the same thing, because like when you then get a small break, you want to get back instantly, and that's like inner motivation, I would say. So yeah, that haven't really been a problem. It's of course been tough, sometimes when you don't really have, it's been really easy up leading up to Astana now, because I had something to play for, like something to work towards. But after not getting the Astralis offer when they chose Cadian instead, it was a bit hard to, like, the next 3 months just grind, without knowing what comes next. But sometimes you just have to do it without thinking too much about it.
Should we do oh, sorry. Should we do a few more and then let HooXi breathe?
HooXi, you good for a couple more?
Yeah, just go.
Okay. From Lancer, looking back at your career and personal life, what is something you wish your younger self had known?
Oh, that's a deep one. Well, I think I've learned the most in the past year, from just reflecting on my time in G2. So it's not like I want to go back and tell like myself as like 14-year-old, like, what should you do differently. But yeah, I don't know. I don't live with too many regrets, because I think it's all like, it's easy to sit here after and say like this would have been right or wrong, but like I always do what I think is right in the moment. So there's not really much I would change, but I'm happy that I learned what I've learned so far, and that I think I'm finding a better balance. Like that's the only thing that I feel like I would have liked to know before, that it's a bit more about balance than just like always full grind tiers.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Devil, there's just 4 more in total that I'm going to take. So I'm doing this one here. You can see it.
Yeah.
This is a nice one. If you had a choice to choose a team to IGL in the tier 1 scene, which team would it be and why? So you'd replace whoever's in there.
Vitality.
so you could not frag out again. I would not need to shoot. If we're going to go back to that interview question.
Actually, I don't even know if I would take Vitality. Maybe I would just take Falcons, because like I fit better into the team in terms of roles. But I think Vitality would be.
Monassi would have you back, definitely. He'd be like, "Yeah, bring HooXi back."
Well, I think it's tough to not pick Vitality, right? Because they're just
they're
so
smashing
good.
everyone
compared to rest.
Yeah,
compared to the rest, they're just.
But I'm not taking any responsibility for their streak. Like, I don't know how people did this happen. I've been out the whole time. It cannot be my fault. So just wait until I come back, Vitality. It's over for your streak.
It's on. HooXi's back. Streak is over.
Yep.
Trophy run is done. Look down here. No. Look down here. Go further down on our little document.
Here.
You see, I've highlighted the big part.
Yeah. How do I even say that name?
Change it.
And according to Swanee on HLTV confirmed, I had to give it a try.
You're just good.
During his time on G2, he said that they had no analysis staff and assistant coach. Mm-hmm. Do you think with the correct staff, you would have achieved more?
Well, it would probably have made it easier in terms of like workload, but at the same time, I don't think that I'm that good at just like, as I said, like delegating things and work that could be my own. So and especially at that time, I was even worse at it. So I don't know if it would have helped too much for me, but yeah. I think if I had the Glaive as a assistant, maybe he would have helped me out here and there. But but yeah, if we just take someone random in from the streets to do some easy work, I think I would rather just do it myself, because I just like it that way.
Yeah.
Should I take the last two?
The last two. I'm going to take the last one. You can't tell him yet, but I'm going to take the last one. So you do this one.
All right. From Shadow Honta, Is there an ex-teammate?
You said that's so Swedish. Honta.
Okay, but is there an ex-teammate that you would love to reunite in the server again?
That's a lot. But if the question is like, if I had to pick one guy to build a new team with, kind of way, then it would be NiKo,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. What about someone you just like to reunite with for the good times, a good vibe like that?
Oh, that's a bunch. But I think I would just, I don't know. I would take the old Astralis lineup and put Farley as a coach or something. That would be sick.
Nice.
Farley is a funny guy.
Yeah. No, but there's so many. I
Awesome.
cannot name all of them. But I think there's so many good people. It's just, yeah. It's hard to pick
All right.
one.
So this is the last question. It's in full Danish, so I'm going to read it. It's only in Danish. And I'm sorry to all the other people who sent in questions. We do appreciate all the questions, but we have kept HooXi for 4 hours, 30 minutes at this point, and it's getting insane. So this guy's name is Hajalti Laker Bisken. Is that close enough, Devilwalk?
Why are you asking me?
It's close enough to your language.
No.
And, you know, Swedish and Danish is basically
I
the
could
same.
barely
Don't even try to
pronounce
argue
it.
with me.
Hjalte Läckerbisken.
There you go. Look at HooXi's face. All right, HooXi, be ready for this.
Yep.
It says, "Hey, Mr. GigaChad, HooXi Buxi.
Okay.
Haber,
Yep.
Haber det okay? Jeg tager den på dansk." Danish, I guess.
Yeah.
Jeg ville bare spørge
Yeah.
om du kommer til at blive ved med at spille for Astralis. Do you have any idea what I said?
I think he understood.
He said that he hopes it's okay that he takes this question in Danish, and
I had no choice.
And something about playing for Astralis. I'm not quite sure what is in the middle, but
Wait, I'll
I think it
Google
was like,
translate.
jag ville bara
I'll Google
like
translate.
spörge. I don't know.
yeah, that's
Danish.
that's asking. Yeah, he just wants to ask.
Okay, so
If you
translation
will
says,
become to play with us.
Oh, if I'll become an Astralis player, basically.
so just, well, we've already
Yeah.
spoken about this. So
Yeah.
I asked it in Danish. There's the meme. We already know the answer.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait
Oh,
and
you
see.
did quite good. I didn't expect to understand any of that.
Hey, thank you. I didn't get memed. This is great. There's
But I
some
will say,
content with
if
us.
there's hope for you to learn Danish, then there's hope for me to learn Russian. So
See?
I can
See?
Or Chinese.
I can join.
Chinese, don't forget the Chinese.
I can join the Falcons super team at some point.
So here we go. Let's just
True.
end this with the Falcons genius Russian speaking super team. HooXi.
Yep.
Manasi.
Yep.
Kaosuke. Bit.
Yep.
And who was the other one?
It's NiKo. He's
forgot
learning.
who
He's
the-
taking classes with
Oh
me.
yeah, NiKo's also
Oh,
learning
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
NiKo's also learning.
So we'll
then
just
that's the dream
title this
team.
episode HooXi to Falcons? Question.
Yeah, and then we put Blade as coach, of course. We have to.
Blade
Oh,
as
yeah.
coach. Yeah, there you go. It's actually that you would never lose anything ever, but
Yep.
you might have to adjust your emotional stability for that much
system
tilt.
play.
Yeah, you'd have to and system play exactly as he likes. Calling by numbers, HooXi.
I think if there's one guy I would give it a shot with, it would be Blade. And that guy makes it
There
work
you go.
somehow every time.
Even with players that people didn't think was make it possible, you know?
Yeah.
There it
Sure.
is.
Respect.
Well, this is the historically long episode ever of All About Counter-Strike. It is all about HooXi and so much more. I hope you have all enjoyed it. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, HooXi. Thank you so much for all your time. I'm going to post a video that my wife filmed when we first met each other because she filmed from behind the scenes, and that's going to go at the end of this video so everyone can see that little moment. So I was so happy to see him back. And I wish you the best of luck going forward in the future. Then I have to interview you more, and you will be having to suffer more questions.
Yep.
But luckily, Media Day is limited by a time limit, so I
Mhm.
can't keep you forever. But yeah,
You can
best of
always
luck,
say
man. Keep
reference
gymming.
back to this podcast episode.
Yeah, just do that. Actually, we discussed it on All About HooXi.
All right.
Oh, well,
Oh,
best
been
of
a
luck, mate.
pleasure to have you. And I would be very surprised to not see you in the top tier echelons of Counter-Strike in the very near future. I think you've done a great job, and I'll be cheering you on for sure.
Definitely.
I hope you won't get surprised then.
We've got your back. It's going to happen. We'll see him back on a tier 1 team soon. Mark my words.
All right.
See you on the next episode.